This video is the third and last part of solving problems involving lines and angles. As always, I really encourage you to pause the video after each example and try them on your own. Let's start with these two examples. Given that L1 is parallel to L2, find the measures of angle x and y. Y and x plus 30 degrees are adjacent angles of intersecting lines, which means y and x plus 30 degrees are supplementary angles. So the sum of these two angles is 180 degrees. Therefore, we can write y plus x plus 30 degrees equals 180 degrees. Y and 2x have the same measure because they are alternate exterior angles. So when y is, for example, 100 degrees, then 2x is also 100 degrees. Therefore, we can write y equals 2x. So let's substitute the y with 2x. And we get 2x plus x plus 30 degrees equals 180 degrees. 2x plus x is 3x. And 180 degrees minus 30 degrees is 150 degrees. And 150 degrees divided by 3 is 50 degrees. So we get x equals 50 degrees. How can we find the measure of y? We already know that y equals 2x. So we can write y equals 2x. Then we just have to plug in x into y equals 2x. So we get y equals 2 times 50 degrees. 2 times 50 degrees is 100 degrees, so y equals 100 degrees. And we're done with this problem. Let's look at the next example and find out what x and y are. These two angles are corresponding angles, so they have the same measure. So we can write x equals 40 degrees. Now, this angle and this angle are adjacent angles of intersecting lines, which means they are supplementary angles. So the sum of these two angles is 180 degrees. Therefore, we can write x plus y equals 180 degrees. So 40 degrees plus y equals 180 degrees. Y is 180 degrees minus 40 degrees, which is then 140 degrees. And we're done with this problem. Let's look at these two examples and find out what x and y are respectively. These two angles have the same measure because they are alternate interior angles. So we can write x equals 130 degrees. And x and y are adjacent angles of intersecting lines, which means they are supplementary angles. So the sum of these two angles is 180 degrees. Therefore, we can write x plus y equals 180 degrees. So 130 degrees plus y equals 180 degrees. 180 degrees minus 130 degrees is 50 degrees. So we get y equals 50 degrees, and we're done with this problem. Again, these two angles are alternate interior angles. So we can write x equals 50 degrees. And x and y are adjacent angles of intersecting lines, which means they are supplementary angles. So the sum of these two angles is 180 degrees. Therefore, we can write x plus y equals 180 degrees. So 50 degrees plus y equals 180 degrees. And 180 degrees minus 50 degrees is 130 degrees. So we get y equals 130 degrees. This is an interesting one. I really encourage you to pause the video and try this on your own. These two angles have the same measure because they are alternate interior angles. In other words, this angle is also 3x. And now we see that 15x plus 3x equals 180 degrees. Because 3x and 15x are adjacent angles of intersecting lines. 15x plus 3x is 18x. And 180 degrees divided by 18 is 10. So we get x equals 10 degrees. By the way, we could also say this angle is 15x. And 3x plus 15x equals 180 degrees, which is similar to what we did. These two angles are the same because they are corresponding angles. So we can write x plus 20 degrees plus 9x equals 180 degrees. X plus 9x is 10x. And 180 degrees minus 20 degrees is 160 degrees. 160 degrees divided by 10 is 16. So we get x equals 16 degrees. Unfortunately, we don't have to find the measure y in this example. So we are done with this problem. Let's look at the next two examples. Given that angle A equals 100 degrees and angle B equals 80 degrees, find the measures of angles x and y. Do angle A and angle x have the same measure? I really encourage you to pause the video and answer this question. This is a very good exercise. Angle A and angle x do unfortunately not have the same measure. We have to be very careful and only use the facts that we learned about angles. Feel free to write in the comments why angle A and angle x do not have the same measure. What about angle B and angle x? Angle B and angle x have the same measure because they are vertical angles. So we can write x equals 80 degrees. Let's call this angle C. Angle A and angle C have 180 degrees in total. So we can write A plus C equals 180 degrees. With A 100 degrees, we get 100 degrees plus c equals 180 degrees. And after subtracting 100 degrees from both sides, we get c equals 80 degrees. Before we move on, I want to add something, which we need here and in the next examples. When we have three lines which intersect at 3 points, like in this example, these three lines form a plane figure, which we call a triangle. And the sum of the measures of the interior angles of a triangle is always 180 degrees. So let's memorize this. This is one of the absolute basics in geometry. Now, with this fact, we can write b plus c plus d equals 180 degrees. Let's call this d. And with b 80 degrees and c 80 degrees, we get 80 degrees plus 80 degrees plus d equals 180 degrees. 180 degrees minus 160 degrees is 20 degrees. So we get d equals 20 degrees. Angle D and angle Y have 180 degrees in total. So with D equals 20 degrees, we get 20 degrees plus Y equals 180 degrees. 180 degrees minus 20 degrees is 160 degrees. So we get Y equals 160 degrees, and we're done with this problem. In this next example, we have to find the measures of angles X and Y. Let's call this angle C and this angle D. We see it's always the same. B plus C equals 180 degrees. (60 degrees) plus C equals 180 degrees. C equals 120 degrees. The sum of the measures of the interior angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. So we can write A plus C plus D equals 180 degrees. So we get 40 degrees plus 120 degrees plus D equals 180 degrees. 180 degrees minus 160 degrees is 20 degrees. So we get D equals 20 degrees. And D plus X is 180 degrees. So we can write 20 degrees plus X equals 180 degrees. 180 degrees minus 20 degrees is 160 degrees. So we get X equals 160 degrees, and we're done with this problem. Let's look at these two last examples. Given that angle A equals 120 degrees, find the measures of X and Y. Let's call this angle B, and A plus B equals 180 degrees. So we get 120 degrees plus b equals 180 degrees. 180 degrees minus 120 degrees is 60 degrees. So we get b equals 60 degrees. The sum of the measures of the interior angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. So we can write b plus y plus 90 degrees equals 180 degrees. B is 60 degrees. And 180 degrees minus 150 degrees is 30 degrees. So we get y equals 30 degrees. And x plus y is 180 degrees. X plus 30 degrees equals 180 degrees, and 180 degrees minus 30 degrees is 150 degrees, so we get x equals 150 degrees. Let's look at the last example. Given that the line segment AO is perpendicular on the line segment OB, express in terms of x the number of degrees in angle BOC. What does it mean to express in terms of x the number of degrees in angle BOC? It means that we have to have at the end angle BOC equals something with x. Okay, let's dive into it. We have to be careful here. X and this angle are not the same. Don't get fooled by the sketch. But we can say that x plus 90 degrees plus angle BOC equals 180 degrees. Right? In our previous examples, we had two angles which added up to 180 degrees. Here we have three angles which add up to 180 degrees. 1, 2, 3. Remember, a straight line always has 180 degrees. So no matter how many angles you have on the straight line, they all add up to 180 degrees. Now, after subtracting 90 degrees from both sides, we get x plus angle BOC equals 90 degrees. Because 90 degrees minus 90 degrees cancel each other out, and 180 degrees minus 90 degrees is 90 degrees. And after subtracting x from both sides, we get angle BOC equals 90 degrees minus x. And that's what we wanted. Angle BOC equals something with x. What does angle BOC equals 90 degrees minus x mean? Well, for example, when x is 30 degrees, then angle BOC is 60 degrees. When x is 50 degrees, then angle BOC is 40 degrees. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments. This video is what I did for you. If you want to do something for me, hit the bell button, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching and happy learning, everyone.